G'day guys, today I wanted to talk to you about injuries. As long as you're riding a bike, injuries are going to be a big part of your life. And that happen to all of us. And my job with the KTM race teams is to make sure that when our guys get injured, that we get them sorted out and get them recovered and back on the bike as quickly, as safely as possible. The thing to remember is, after an injury, your recovery is set up again in the first few hours. So trying to abide by a few simple rules in the first couple of hours is going to make your life a whole lot easier. It'll mean you can return to work on Monday just that little bit better, or return to your next session a little bit healthier and hopefully get you back a bit quicker before your next race. So the most important thing to remember is our blood is like oil, okay? The hotter our blood gets, the thinner it gets. So when we're exercising and we're really, really hot and our core temperature's up, our blood's really, really thin. Okay, so when we've had an injury, what usually happens is we'll have a big impact on an area. All the little blood vessels in the area get sandwiched and they get split. Okay, so then all the blood runs out the splits and pools in the area. What we want to do is try and reduce the amount of blood that pools there, and the more we can reduce it, the quicker we'll recover. Okay, so the most important thing that you need to get going after the first injury or after the initial impact is RICE, which is rest, ice, compression, elevation. We will have seen and heard of this a lot. All that means is resting the injury as much as you can, so you don't want to be continuing to exercise. You want to ice up for 20 minutes every 2 hours, so trying to chill that blood down in the area so that it thickens up. Compress it so you're holding those vessels, the splits in the vessels closed, and then elevate the area above the heart so we're not pumping a whole heap of blood into there. The other thing you want to stay away from is harm, which is heat, alcohol, running and massage. Okay, so running means any exercise. So you want to stay away from heat. You don't want to heat the area up. Hot baths, hot showers, stay out of there, because if you heat the blood up in that area, it's going to get thin and more is going to run out the splits in those vessels. You want to stay away from alcohol, because alcohol thins your blood as well. So those quiet couple of beers you'd have after a trail ride, you probably should stay away from them, because they're going to impair your recovery and going to make you pull up a whole heap worse at work. Running or any exercise, you want to try and minimise any exercise or any usage of the injury or of the injured site. And massage. The old idea of being able to rub out the cork doesn't work. For the first few days, what happens is your blood's trying to clot and trying to plug up the holes in the blood vessels, and if you keep rubbing it, all you end up doing is busting up the clot and it'll pull more. So don't rub it out. You want to stick to all of this, so RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation, and no harm, which is heat, alcohol, running and massage, for about 3 days. 4 days if it's a really serious injury, but stick to it for 3 days. I hope this helps, guys. I hope this is something that you can use at home. I know it's something that I use all the time, these simple things with my riders, and I hope it really helps you.